everyone, EpicFailGuy here. I would like to apologize first and foremost. Due to a technical glitch with the stream, the first 5 minutes of the interview was lost. I was unable to recover the first 5 minutes of the recording, and unfortunately that meant that the introduction and the opening words by Vinny were lost as well. On that note, welcome to Between Two Fort, the interview show that takes place in the game Team Fortress 2, where a guest and myself are going to conduct an interview while under fire from all the other players in the server on the bridge in between the map of CTF2 Fort. And with that, today's guest is Vinny Parisi, Editor-in-Chief of Indie Game Magazine. Now let's get to it.
Oh, yeah. So, here's a nice little fun question. So, somebody just took away your favorite pet. Who was taken and how are you going to get your revenge?
My favorite pet? I haven't personally had too many pets. I used to have fish when I was younger, and my family has a dog right now. But if I could do like an exotic pet, if that's allowed, I would.
Whatever you want to do.
I'd go with a Komodo dragon. I've always really wanted a Komodo dragon. Not that I could take care of it; it'd probably eat me, but they look really cool. And I figured they'd be pretty sweet to have outside in like a moat type area to tell people to stay off of my property.
Nice. Oh yeah, we got Kirby in here.
Yeah, as far as a name, I don't know, something probably dragon related. Maybe a sharp tooth or a dragon fang.
Nice. So after this dragon fang or this Komodo dragon gets taken away from you, how are you gonna get your revenge? You gonna go all John Wick on it?
I mean, I have no choice, really. I mean, he's an awesome pet. To have him taken away, that's not cool. I'd probably design some type of armored suit, kind of Iron Man style, to kind of get my revenge. I wouldn't just go in guns blazing. I'd try to have something technologically exciting to catch him off guard with.
And are you using the in-game mic, by the way? I'm not, because Django says he can't hear you.
Oh, I thought so. If not, how do I turn that on?
I want to say by default it's mapped to V. So, because I have you muted in game, so I do not hear you. And that way I don't get an echo. Oh, crap.
Let's see.
Fucking scouts.
I should be on now, I think.
Yeah, let me check here. Alright, try. Yeah, okay, yeah, I can see broadcasting now, so we're good. Okay.
Okay, cool. Sorry about that.
Yeah, it happens. I mean, it's all part of doing it live.
Yeah, I will say for the record, I'm primarily a console gamer. I'm sure PC gamers will hate to hear that, but I'm used to console gaming, so I'm gonna make some dumb mic mistakes and chat mistakes, I'm sure.
It all happens. Okay, so, and it's yeah, okay. Alright, so you're sent to a perfect island paradise. Now, the catch is that while being there, actually, you're sent there for the rest of your life. Like, you can live in this perfect island paradise, you'll have everything you ever want, but the only catch is that you have one game, and just one game, and that's it, to play for the rest of your life. What is it, and why?
Oh, easiest question of my life. There's only one game I ever need, and it's Grandia 2 on the Sega Dreamcast. I used to play a lot of kind of action games growing up on like the Super Nintendo and stuff, but I didn't get introduced into the RPG genre until the Sega Dreamcast, and I got it the year it came out and everything, and so I started out with the basics like Sonic Adventure and all that good stuff, and then I got Grandia 2 for Christmas, whatever year it came out in the US, and I absolutely fell in love with it. It totally changed like everything for me. I was always a gamer since I was a child. I mean, I was playing like Mario when I was 2, so I've been a gamer as long as I can remember, but I didn't really think about how awesome gaming was, or how I don't want to put too much emphasis on it, but how life-changing it could be when you have a really good gaming experience. Mm-hmm. And so kind of Grandia taught me how to that like game design could be really important, and that it could teach you a lot of things about just storytelling and just kind of like teamwork and relationships and that kind of stuff. So Grandia 2 was the big one for me. That was kind of the game changer, no pun intended.
Yeah. And I mean, I hate to say it, but I'm really not familiar with that game. Like, I mean, I played all the standard classics for the SNS era, but like, because I mean, like, I grew up on Super Mario World and Mario Kart and all that fun stuff.
Yeah, Super Mario World was a big one for me too. So Grounded 2 on the Sega Dreamcast. It's a JRPG. It introduced to me for the first time. I don't know if it introduced everybody to this, but it had this action battle system where I believe it was on the top of the screen. There was a meter with all of your party, a party of 5, and the enemies, however many enemies there were. And it was this action gauge that would slowly go from left to right. And there was a threshold at the halfway point. When you hit that halfway point, that's when you could execute an attack. And then, so it was basically a meter that showed when everybody was attacking, and you could kind of plan your strategy around that. Some attacks would cancel others out. So if an enemy was about to launch some awesome attack or some healing buff, and you caught it in time, and your character was a little bit faster, if they had higher speed, you could do a canceling attack and knock out their move, and it would reset their timer back to the beginning of the bar. So it was really interesting. You had to stay on your toes. It wasn't just like classic turn-based JRPG style where you could kind of play it without looking. You really had to pay attention moment to moment. But the story was really cool. It had a really great cast of characters. It was actually published by Ubisoft, I believe, which I didn't know until like a few years ago. I never really paid attention to it, but yeah, I was looking at the game because I still have it, and I just kind of noticed the Ubisoft logo on it, and I was like, wow, I can't believe the greatest game of my life was published by Ubisoft. Go figure. But yeah, it was a lot of fun. The graphics were amazing. I mean, the Sega Dreamcast had amazing graphics for its time, but they used these really amazing CG cutscenes, and then there was even some anime for the finishing moves. It was really awesome. Yeah, it was way ahead of its time, for sure.
I'll have to look that up at some point, then. That sounds pretty damn awesome.
Yeah, I've been waiting for a remaster on next-gen consoles because I played in a heartbeat, and they just, I don't know, maybe it's a rights issue, but I've never seen another version of it outside of the Sega Dreamcast. I could be wrong, though. Oh, did it come? There was a version on PS2. I know Grandia 3 came to PS2. Somebody just brought it up in chat. If Grandia 2 did, I think they changed it somehow because it was not... I remember I picked it up, and it was not the same game. But either way, the Dreamcast version was the one I played, and it was amazing.
Okay. Yeah, that's definitely something like, I mean, that's why I love doing this kind of stuff, is I find out about games I've never heard of that actually sound really goddamn awesome, and that's definitely one I'm going to have to look up now. Yeah,
if you need a Dreamcast RPG recommendation, I'm your guy. The top 3 for me were that, Grandia, Skies of Arcadia, and Evolution are probably my trinity of Dreamcast RPGs.
Nice.
Yeah.
Okay. So kind of changing gears a little bit here.
Sure.
And I know I didn't get the full question quote right, but what is the speed of an unladen swallow from... What is the speed of a... Oh, God damn it. Hold on, I'm just going to look up the damn quote.
Okay.
Oh yes, what is the airspeed velocity of an unladen swallow?
I'm supposed to take a guess at that? 50 miles an hour?
Well, actually, there is a full-fledged study that they did on the South African swallow.
Okay.
But because of Monty Python, apparently. But I mean, like, it does raise a lot of questions, like, what is the swallow? Is it an American, or is it a African swallow? Is it a European swallow? Is it carrying a coconut?
Sure.
But yes.
I wonder, do you think, would their top speed change because they're from a different region? That's really interesting to me, if that's true.
Well, I mean, depending on the differences in how the species came to be, and like how they've evolved, and what was favored in those environments, you could possibly see different speeds.
Sure, that makes sense. I just kind of figured some of them might have been lazier than others.
Oh, yeah, that too. Okay. So if you could have any, I'm on the right question. If you could have any superpower, what would it be and why?
I go back and forth on this one a lot. I'm a comic book nerd, so this is a question I think about on a daily basis. Unfortunately, this plagues my life. But I feel like in terms of practicality, and this might sound strange, but just let me get through it. I think the most ideal power would be Johnny Storm's power, his Human Torch ability, and just because it's a mixture of flight, you'd never have to worry about your internal temperature. You're always the temperature you want to be. I would say, just like cooking wise, he can, create fire on his own, which is amazing. There's a scene, the Fantastic Four movie, the first one that came out, directed by Tim Story. It's not a great film, nobody likes it, but I enjoyed it. There's a scene where he's watching TV and he just takes out like Jiffy Pop popcorn and he's just popping it in his hand, just cooking it. And I'm like, oh my god, that's amazing.
What?
There's so
Yeah,
many
I think I remember that scene.
applications. So just between the flight, between the flames, the body temperature, the cooking aspect, I feel like there's a lot of use to Johnny Storm's abilities. And of course, his supernova ability is nothing to sneeze at in a tight pinch. So I feel like that would be the one I would choose. But I'm a diehard Spider-Man fan at the same time. But I don't know, his powers, as much as I love them, the spider sense is great, the wall crawling is great, but I feel like there's not a lot of practical applications in real life. For me, not as someone who fights, I'm not a crime fighter, so
Yeah.
I feel like I might not have too many uses for his abilities.
Yeah, I can
outside
respect
of his
that.
natural intellect, I guess.
Yeah, I can totally respect that. And actually, talking about comic books, I'm actually this is more personal curiosity, but what do you think of Thorina, or Femme Thor, or whatever the heck they call her nowadays?
I haven't been too caught up on the actual issues. I don't. Is she in the issues now? I saw the cover and all that stuff.
There's a couple of them out now, and then she shows up in Agents of Loki, I believe, for an issue or two. I'm gonna be honest, I don't know 100%. Like, I've been just kind of sort of keeping tabs on it. I really, I know a little bit, and I have my own opinion, of course, but I really do need to dig in and read one of the issues.
I know enough to say that I don't particularly have a problem with her. I mean, I know it's not like when the story first broke, people were saying that like Thor is becoming a woman, as if like he was getting a sex change.
Yeah,
and that was kind of weird. But the fact that it's just another, female character who is inheriting the ability, or I guess sort of the mantle of Thor, I really don't have any issue with it. I mean, when they introduced Thor's kind of half sister, Angela, a while ago, I thought it was really cool that they kind of had this really kick-ass female Asgardian who was a direct blood tie to Thor. I mean, don't get me wrong, Lady Sif is awesome, Valkyrie is awesome. There are plenty of female characters in the realm of Asgard that are awesome. But I kind of just thought it was a really cool idea to introduce a female Thor. I mean, Thor's going through some heavy stuff, it seems. I mean, he's missing an arm. He's got like a robot arm. No, I get it. It's not really a spoiler because I haven't read it and I know about it just because of pictures they've shown. So.
Oh yeah, they've been like flat out with it, where they're like, yeah, Thor right now can't wield the hammer.
Yeah, so I mean, I'm all about great stories, and it seems like it's worth a chance. It seems like a really interesting story that's worth hearing out. So I'm not like directly opposed. I mean, when they did Superior Spider-Man, I was the first one to say, guys, listen, Peter's not going to be gone forever. Let's see this story through. And I thought it turned out pretty cool. You got to mix it up every once in a while.
Yeah. Like I was with you with on that one when they first announced it. Like, that was right after the Disney acquisition, and I'm like, oh, cool, Thor's gonna be a Disney princess now. Like, I was laughing about it. I thought it was kind of funny. And I mean, I've seen a few of those panels that have been circulating around on Twitter where people are saying, oh, look at this, and I'll have to actually read the book to judge the quality of the writing, but if they do it well, I think the character could be pulled off. Like...
Yeah, I mean, listen, like, when they did Beta Ray Bill, I was like, who the heck is this? I was like, why is this, like, strange creature replacing Thor? But he turned out to be a really awesome character, and I know that a lot of people love him, and I've grown to be pretty fond of him, too. So, I say mix it up every once in a while.
Oh, yeah. You gotta. Otherwise, it's just going to be the same thing forever and ever, and it gets super stale.
Yeah, and I mean, I think people have to realize these comics have been around for decades now. They have to do. People tend to think they just do it for the sake of gimmicks, but honest to God, they really have to change it just to keep things fresh. I mean,
Oh yeah.
Thor can't always be Thor. Tony Stark's got to get old at some point. These characters age in the Marvel universe, and as awesome as that is, that this world is so realistic, it's a double-edged sword because eventually these characters they have to get old, and
Yeah.
new characters have to replace them.
Oh yeah, definitely. Okay, so picking back up with the questions I had written rather than going off the top of my head here.
Sure.
So what is the most promising game you've seen recently, and what was special about it?
Wow. Okay, this is a little bit of a spoiler, I guess, because I'm going to tell you about our April issue of the magazine right now. But it's only about a week away, so I guess we can do spoilers. Our April cover story is a game called The Lost Pisces, and this game really blew my mind when I first found out about it. In general terms, it's a modern retelling of The Little Mermaid, and before people back out and run, it's actually a really amazing story. So the general premise is it takes place after the fall of Atlantis, and Atlantis is, in this case, not just a city, but a globe-spanning civilization. And so they were surface dwellers, and there was a big flood, and most of Atlantis went under, and so civilization's kind of in ruin. So it's a post-apocalyptic sense, and that's in that kind of sense, but at the same time, Atlantis was really highly technologically advanced, and so it's all in ruins, but it's really beautiful to look at because they were this highly advanced civilization. And so the draw of the game, I'm not going to get into the story too much because you can read the magazine to get all the details, but the draw of it is the character you interact with, Pisces. She's she's an android, but she serves the purpose that the Little Mermaid serves, where she's this young girl who wants to be human and kind of wants to figure out what it means to be to have a human soul, because she's a robot, and she's sentient enough to question life and what is life and what happens after death, and so she kind of wants a human soul because she thinks that will enable her to kind of continue living in some capacity after death, however, whatever happens to the human spirit. And the communication with her, because she loses her voice as the Little Mermaid does, you communicate with her. She uses hand gestures and motion capture for really intricate facial animation and all that, but she also uses Kinect for Xbox and just camera software for PC, and she can read your facial expressions and your gestures and kind of how you react to different scenarios. And I was pretty skeptical about this at first because we've been trying to do sort of that kind of Project Milo interaction, if you remember Peter Molyneux's Project Milo. We've been trying to do that for a long time, and it's really, to my knowledge, not really available yet. And so when I interviewed Serenum, is the developers of Lost Pisces, I flat out told them that I was skeptical, that I don't really know that this technology exists, and this really seems like an overambitious project, as much as I'd love it to happen. But they're working with a number of people who are really at the forefront of technology as far as AI and advanced motion capture and sort of nav mesh and all that kind of stuff is concerned. So if anyone can pull it off, they can. And so the issue will be out April 1st if you want to check it out. They'll also be on Kickstarter in April. But that's one that you have to watch. That's my top pick for this year.
Okay, yeah, that's definitely. I mean, that sounds awesome.
Like, yeah, it's also for the graphics folks who love good graphics. It's using Unreal 4, which, if you know anything about Unreal 4, you know it looks gorgeous. So the game looks incredible too. It's definitely worth a look.
Yeah, it's actually an engine I really want to get my hands in and play with a little bit more, especially now that they've made it free.
I have only good things to say about Epic. They're an awesome company. Making Unreal 4 free is a great idea. It's going to enable a lot of really great ideas to come out of the indie development community. Yeah, it's awesome.
It also forced Unity to kind of drop the paywall behind some of their more advanced features, or some of the other features on top of the engine, and now that's also free as well for the.
That's also very true. Yeah.
There's limitations on both of them too, but I mean it's still awesome that you can get into it and start developing just right off the bat with the tools that all the big developers use.
Yeah, I mean, between Unity, between Unreal, between you know what, I'm a pretty big fan of RPG Maker too. I mean, I'm an RPG fan, so anything to kind of make that easier, I'm a fan of. I find all three engines to be really, really great for their own unique ways. I know a lot of people think RPG Maker's a little bit tired by this point, but I really think that's just because most RPG games that kind of show up on Kickstarter or end up on Game Jolt for a free or for $1, they really only take advantage of the basic features RPG Maker can do. If you kind of play around with it, the same as Unity, the more you play around with it, the more you take advantage of plugins and user-created support, you can really do some amazing things.
Oh yeah, like I remember seeing a lot of those RPG Maker horror games that came out. Those are really awesome.
Yeah, for sure.
Okay, so, wow, we got off a little bit of a tangent there.
Yeah, I tend to do that. So sorry.
It's fine. It's completely fine. Okay, yeah. So, all right. So, pick a game series that you would like to you would like to see finally end and never come back. Which one is it, and why?
Ooh, hmm. You know what? I'm gonna say the Assassin's Creed series, because I used to really love the story for Assassin's Creed. I think they've gone off the rails a little bit just because that's what happens when a game comes out every single year. Like eventually it just goes off the rails. But I'd like to see it end only because I think if the team behind it only had one more shot, I think they'd make a really incredible game. And so I'd kind of like to see the Assassin's Creed swan song and see how it all finally ultimately ends.
Yeah, like I'm not gonna lie, I actually haven't gotten a game after 3 because I was just I don't know, I liked it. I liked it a lot. I love Brotherhood. Like those were like two of my favorites in the series. But I don't know, it just seems like it's lost the magic for me.
Yeah, oh yeah, I agree completely.
Okay. Speaking of game series and all that fun stuff, you've been given control of a game studio. What studio is it, and what kind of game are you going to make with it?
Hopefully it's Sega, so I could turn this ship around because Sega's been disappointing me for quite some time. You know what? I grew up on Sonic the Hedgehog, so Sonic is my main mascot in terms of game mascots. I'm always Team Sonic. I really thought they were onto something with Generations and even Unleashed. I know the Werehog is stupid, but Sonic Unleashed, the Sonic parts at least, were really, really good. And Sonic Colors was great too. So they were on a really great winning streak, I thought, with Sonic. And then they went ahead and blew it all up with Sonic Boom, and which you could tell from a mile away was garbage.
Oh,
and
yeah.
I hate to say that about games because, people work hard to make games, and I work with developers, and I know how hard it is to make a game. So it's nothing against the development team per se, but you could see coming from a mile away that Sonic Boom just didn't have a chance in the world.
Yeah.
And so, I mean, if I could take control of a studio, I would hope it'd be Sega. And the first thing I'd do is make Sonic Adventure 3, just because it needs to be made, and people have been asking for it. And Sonic Adventure was kind of the high point in terms of 3D Sonic games for me. And I don't know which style I'd do if I'd go the Sonic Adventure route, because that's kind of the closest to my heart, but I love Sonic Adventure 2 as well.
Yeah.
So I don't know. It'd be kind of a weird hybrid between the two that I'd figure out. But between Sonic Adventure 3 and, you know what, people are going to hate me, but I would really bring back Sonic Chronicles. If anyone remembers the BioWare Sonic RPG they put on the DS. It was pretty rudimentary in terms of design and mechanics, but Sonic Chronicles, I really loved it. So I would bring those two back.
Yeah, like I don't remember Chronicles at all. But I mean, Sonic Adventure 2, I loved. I loved how smooth. I loved how streamlined it really was.
Yeah.
And 1, I played it. Like I played 1 after playing 2. Being a young kid at the time, I was like, "Oh, 2 is awesome! It's Sonic. It's the first Sonic game I had for the GameCube. It was great. I loved it." Then I picked up 1 for the GameCube when they released in another edition. I was like, "Oh, this takes place after Sonic 2," and I was so confused, but it was fun.
Oh yeah, but I mean, the GameCube really had it. See, I had them all on the Dreamcast, but
Yeah.
my friend had the GameCube versions, the director's cut of Sonic Adventure, and then also Sonic Adventure 2 Battle, I think it was called, the re-released one.
Yeah.
And like, this is dumb, but I was really into the Chow Garden back then, and the Sonic Adventure
Oh,
2
yeah.
Chow Garden was just 3,000 times better than the Dreamcast Chow Garden. It had like stats that you could see, and there was like a black market, and there was like karate mini games.
Yeah.
It was like wow. So yeah, whatever Sonic game I make, Chow Gardens are 100% a part of it because
Awesome.
it's awesome.
Yeah, like that was actually I probably spent more time there than playing anything else, honestly. And then when I found out that you could hook up your Game Boy Advance to it through the GameCube link cable and take them with you on the go, that was hilarious.
Yeah, so the Dreamcast had, I don't know if you remember, they had something called visual memory units, or
Yeah,
VMUs
yeah.
for short. And they had different mini games and stuff, and you could bring the Chows with you for Sonic Adventure as well. It wasn't, advanced or anything, but it was pretty cool that you could have the Chows with you. They kind of it was some kind of walking mechanic where they picked up items for you to bring back to the garden, but it was fun.
Kind of like a super early version of the what they call the Pokewalker.
Right. That's almost exactly what it was. Kind of looked the same too, because it had that same Tamagotchi style art on the VMU. It was just like pixels, black pixels.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. I gotta. Oh yeah. This will be a fun question. So I might have to explain it a little bit here, but Tumblr has decided to ship you. Who are you getting shipped with, and what makes it freaky?
Oh boy, yeah. I'm not too big on the Tumblr community. I haven't really paid too much attention to it.
Believe me, I try not to.
Is there a particular category or group that I can select between, or
Whatever you want.
Hmm.
So it's they're writing basically fan fiction about you and some other person, character, thing, etc.
Oh god. Okay. Fan fiction. I guess I'd have to borrow from the Spider-Man world and maybe get partnered with Black Cat.
Ooh.
Yeah. Not that I could by any means handle Black Cat, but it's fan fiction, so in this reality, I'm sure I could go a few rounds with her.
Okay, yeah. Let's see here. I know this question's kind of already been covered a little bit earlier, and I think I already know the answer. But what is your favorite video game and why?
Oh yeah. Yeah, it has to be Grandia. I have to go back to Grandia too. I'd be lying if I said anything else.
Oh no! What the? Okay, that's weird. Apparently, I got a message saying I had an unknown item. So sorry about that.
Oh, no, that's okay. The why is a little bit complex, I guess. On the surface, it's a really great RPG, and the story was amazing. And this might sound dumb, but it was the first time I ever cried during a game because there's a couple sad moments, and you get really attached to the characters. So kind of, it was my Final Fantasy VII. I know a lot of people when Eris died, that was a big seminal emotional moment for them. And there's a moment just like that in Grandia that happened for me, and it was the first time I realized that games I could connect with them on an emotional level if the story was there and the characters were there. But it also, from just a game, it was the first time I realized that I kind of wanted to take my passion for gaming and turn it into more than a hobby, kind of make a career out of it. I didn't think I would make games, but I always wanted to kind of commentate about games, and that was kind of what got me into game reviews and all that stuff, because it showed me that game design it's a lot more work, and it takes a lot more intelligence than maybe some people might think. You have to be really smart to design a great game, from the level design to the enemies to the art. Everything has to work in such a beautiful tandem that when it all comes together in as amazing of a way as it did in Grandia, it took really nothing short of genius to kind of put that game together. And so it gave me a lot of respect for people behind the curtain. It wasn't just a game to me; it was kind of a really amazing piece of art that a team of somebody's had to make. And so it kind of got me interested in the behind-the-scenes aspect of the game and what goes into game making.
Nice. Yeah, that's That's a wonderful, wonderful answer. Like, that's...
Thanks.
Yeah. That's a lot deeper than, oh, I like it because it has, like, the one mechanic that was, like, super, super awesome, and then I just love playing it forever.
Hey, I mean, it had a talking bird named Sky. He was like I think he was an eagle or some type of regal bird, and so I liked it for that too, because I was like, oh, look at this, he's a talking bird, and he's kind of a smartass. This is my perfect character.
That's like day one material right there.
Right, so I have my superficial reasons too.
Oh, of course. So, kind of shifting gears a little bit, if you were to start a magazine based around a hobby that wasn't gaming, what would it be and why?
It would probably be something either comic book related, or I guess if I was going to do something kind of totally unrelated to my day-to-day hobbies, I'm really passively interested in archery. And I don't know how much there is to talk about archery, but I imagine there's plenty. So if I was going to do kind of an off-the-wall magazine based outside of my direct day-to-day hobbies, I'd say I'd do something with archery.
Nice. And actually, if I recall correctly, I do remember seeing in my former barber shop tons of like archery and hunting magazines. So it's definitely a huge thing.
I imagine that it must be. I mean, I'm superficially interested in it because I grew up reading Green Arrow comics, and then I got to try archery for the first time in high school. We had like an archery class, and so I was like, oh wow, this is not only cool, but it's actually pretty fun too.
Yeah.
There's no real range close to where I am where I can kind of practice or even get lessons, but eventually, if I ever move someplace where there's a lot of archery going on, I would definitely be a part of the community.
Mm-hmm. Okay, so you've been recruited into a famous heister crew. What is the crew called? Do they have a calling card, and why?
They would probably be called, let's see, how about, well, if I was going to be on a heist crew, they'd all be kind of technologically savvy. It'd be a lot of hacking and that kind of stuff, not so much the brute force run and gun.
Mm-hmm.
So they'd probably be called Technobabble, because we'd all be on headsets kind of talking nonsense to each other that nobody outside of our group would understand.
Mm-hmm.
I'm trying to think about what kind of things we would steal. I guess it would just be kind of like documents and information for information brokering, that sort of thing.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. There was a second?
Yeah,
like I'm sorry.
Yeah, it's a very multi-part question. So, would there be any sort of like calling cards that you guys would have?
Calling cards. There would definitely be calling cards, because I'm too much of a narcissist not to leave my graffiti all over a card and hand it out wherever we. It would be like the Joker, kind of just leaving his playing cards everywhere.
Mm-hmm.
As far as what it would be, it'd either be some type of maybe binary symbol that means like gotcha, or kind of something kind of sassy or tongue-in-cheek, or we would have some type of maybe kind of gear symbol, although I feel like the gear symbol is overplayed. So we'd have to kind of iterate on the gear symbol.
Mm-hmm. I mean that's definitely a definite option there, and sorry, I lost my train of thought a little bit there. I mean, like it's like using something like a gear symbol or having something sassy is always just a nice touch. Just put a little salt in the wound.
Yeah, I mean, come on. You gotta have a little fun with it, I think. You gotta love what you do, right?
Exactly. So, okay. So this is always a fun question. And actually, I know you earlier before we started this, you told me you just gotten a new laptop. So what is your rig / battle station / computer, whatever you feel like calling it, what's it like?
Oh, I have too much respect for the PC community to call this any type of battle station. It's nothing too advanced. I actually just got an Asus laptop. It's feature-wise, it's got a Core i5. No, it's Core i3. Sorry, I'm not even as fancy as I think I am. A Core i 6 gigs of RAM. There's really not too much to it. I actually, as far as my headset, I actually have a Rocat headset. I
Mhm.
think it's called the Cave KTD or something, which they generously provided me for review. We talked about it in the magazine way back when. So they
Oh,
actually
nice.
sent me a gaming headset and gaming mouse to take a look at, and they both work fantastic. I'm using them right now for really the first time, the gaming mouse. I mean, I tested it out to review it, but I haven't
Mhm.
really played anything too much.
Nice.
Just laptop, such garbage. The headset actually wasn't even compatible with my first laptop, so I had to use somebody else's to do the review because my old laptop was like 7 years old, and
Oh, jeez.
it struggled like just doing word processor stuff.
Mhm.
So it was time to upgrade for sure.
Yeah, definitely. Okay. So, one of my favorite questions, and unfortunately we don't have a lot of actual human players with us tonight, or today, because Django knows what this is, I know what this is, I always catch people by surprise with it. So, my question to you is red, blue, or purple? You get to pick one.
Well, interestingly enough, my choice would be blue, but just to kind of tangent a little bit, I'm actually colorblind. I'm red-green colorblind, and I can't go shopping by myself, clothes shopping, because I inevitably bring home nothing but purple. So apparently my favorite color is purple, but I swear when I look at it, it looks like a kind of cobalt blue.
Okay.
So that would be my pick.
Okay, so blue then?
Yeah.
Oh, all blue team dies.
Very cool. What is the purple option?
Everyone dies.
Ah, excellent.
Yep. Okay.
It's a Matrix-esque pill scenario there.
Pretty much. And especially when I always give it without any context.
Oh,
Because
that's
everyone's like,
perfect.
"Oh, I was just picking a color." Well, yeah. Just think of that. Just you're getting a color. So, this is actually going to be another kind of complex question here, but if you could trade places with any video game character, who would it be and why? Now, keeping in mind you are literally trading places. Like, you don't get their powers. They don't get to. They keep all of their powers when they come into your life. Like, when they come to the real world in your place, they're keeping their powers, and you go into their world, and you don't have their powers. Like, you are as you are now.
Okay, so I'm literally just switching places with
Yeah.
them. I'm in their world, they're in mine, and nothing else changes outside of that.
Yep.
Huh. Maybe this is like a little bit of a cheat, but I feel like really any sort of generic RPG hero, because there's a lot of like skill training places that I could go where I could start out as a novice without any abilities and kind of work my way up. So if I had to choose a world to kind of switch RPG places with, I'd probably do the Dragonborn in Skyrim.
Okay. Yeah, I can totally see
wouldn't-
that.
I wouldn't have the shouting, but I could at least get my smithing up and make some sweet equipment.
Yeah. That and maybe a world where you could learn magic and all that fun stuff, and 'cause, I mean, magic exists there, and everyone has access to magic, which would be an interesting question, because maybe if someone from the real world were to go there, I suppose you wouldn't get like the starting spell, but you would assume at least get mana of some caliber,
Yeah, right.
or be able to use the clothes that give you mana.
As far as who I would choose to switch back, if you want to get into like a class or whatever, I'd probably bring like a mage. I forget the my nerd cred's gonna take a hit. I forget these species that can breathe underwater in Skyrim. The reptilian species.
Yeah, the Argonians.
Argonians. There it is. Yes. I'd do like an Argonian mage, just to kind of really make people turn their heads, like, what the hell is this creature doing in our world?
Oh yeah. Yeah, that'd definitely freak a lot of people out.
I don't know. I feel like a Khajiit would be like not normal because it's like a tiger, but I feel like people would be more accommodating of that.
Yeah.
It would almost seem like we've kind of seen that before in like an animated film. Maybe it's not so out there, But you've seen Argonian walking around, you're not prepared.
No. Oh god, no.
Especially if he's casting spells.
Oh yeah. And changing gears a little bit from games here, what was the last movie you saw, and what was the thing that stuck out most about it?
Oh boy, this is gonna be lame because I don't watch too many movies outside of comic book movies. I don't have a heck of a lot of time, but I happened to turn on my Netflix for the first time in like 3 months a couple weeks ago, and one of the new releases was this movie called Earth to Echo, and I remember seeing the trailer for it, and I thought it was this cool like alien movie because it's about these kids that discover this kind of robotic alien. And I didn't know the premise outside of that. I just saw that the effects looked pretty cool, the creature looked pretty cool, and so I was like, oh, this might be an interesting movie. And it ended up just being about these kids that are in a town, and their town is being torn down, and they're building a highway out of it. And they kind of go have one last hurrah. They have a night out together. And these kids are really young, like middle school. I don't even think they're in high school yet. And so they happen to find this creature, and they stumble into this like major conspiracy. It's kind of, I don't know, it's not boring, it's interesting, but there's not a heck of a lot of action to it. Like the creature never really does anything too interesting. He doesn't, like, nothing explodes. So it's kind of tame in terms of special effects. So I wouldn't wholeheartedly recommend it, but I don't know, I guess it's a feel good story.
Okay, yeah, because like I've seen that, and I have it on my queue actually. I've been like, I need a reason, or I just need time to watch it. I just haven't had a chance. And well, now I know it's not as sci-fi as I was hoping. I might just have to pass on it.
Yeah, it's not nearly as sci-fi as I wanted it to be. I'm more proud of the last TV show I watched. If I could do TV show,
Go for it.
I finally finished Spartacus, which was a Starz series, and I watched the first season like way back when, and then I kind of forgot about it because they were replacing the lead actor. Unfortunately, I think he had some sort of cancer, and so he had out of the lead. And so their first idea was to make a prequel instead of a direct sequel for the second season, so they could recast the actor. But then the third season jumps to like the year after the first season took place, so there's kind of a lot of time skipping around, and it's a little bit disorienting because this guy who replaced him in the prequel has now replaced him in the sequel. But outside of that, the actors are all amazing. There's a lot of kind of gratuitous gore. It's kind of got the Game of Thrones thing where it's pretty violent, it's pretty bloody. There's a lot of sex and all that kind of stuff, but it's a really great story, and I really love their accents and the kind of the way they talk. It's supposed to be, like ancient Greece and ancient Rome, but they talk in a way that I certainly wouldn't anticipate ancient Romans talking. I think they kind of put their own spin on it, and it makes for very entertaining dialogue, I think, anyway.
Nice. Okay. Excuse me. Okay.
I will say I'm anxiously awaiting Daredevil on April 10th on Netflix. That'll be the next thing I really sit down and watch.
Oh yeah, like I saw the trailer for that and it looked sick. Like I really, really want to see more. Actually, I fell in love with the Flash TV series.
I have really nothing bad to say about it. You know what? I'm not going to say I wasted, but I soldiered through 10 years of Smallville, waiting for a payoff that never came. And so I really respect the Flash because a lot of shows, they kind of take the comic bookiness out of comic book shows, and I don't understand the point of that. Yeah. Because the reason comic books caught on is because, hey, they're a pretty good idea, these superheroes. So even Arrow, Arrow took too long to get started, but the Flash I really love. They're doing the villains, they're doing the costume. It's all good.
Yeah, like I've really been impressed so far with what they're doing. I mean, I realize they also have Arrow, and so you have Green Arrow as well running around, and you have that, and there's the occasional crossover that they've been doing. So it's really like I need to watch Arrow actually. Like I feel ashamed to admit it, but I saw the Flash first. And I'm like, oh, this is awesome.
Yeah, no, I don't blame you. I mean, the Arrow kind of didn't get as much marketing as the Flash did because I think they really were onto something with the Flash. I do like Arrow. I watch Arrow too. I watch them both simultaneously. But the thing about Arrow is, and I got so much flack for this. The first year of Arrow, I didn't like, and I couldn't figure out why I didn't like it, because it was a relatively good show. It's pretty well written. The effects are nice. I couldn't figure out why I didn't like it until I realized that it's actually just a Batman show. And I say that lovingly because I love both characters, but the Oliver Queen in Arrow is not even close to being Green Arrow. He's 100% Batman. He fights Batman's villains. Like, he goes through kind of the same arc as Batman. And so I posted about this the first year, and people were like, "Shut up, you're an idiot. It's not Batman." And so, not to spoil too much this season, but the main bad guy is Ra's al Ghul. Obviously, a primary Batman villain. And there's a particular story that they're doing right now concerning Ra's al Ghul that is just ripped straight from Batman. I mean, kind of Ra's relationship to Batman, if you know anything about the comics and how they operate and how they see each other. This is the exact relationship they're portraying between Ra's and Green Arrow.
Really? That's...
And so, yes, 100%. I don't want to say too much without spoiling, but if you know the story of Batman, if you know what Ra's expects of Batman, what he expects Batman to be, and why he's so kind of obsessed with Batman, it's the exact same 100% reason that they're doing with Green Arrow. And so I'd just like to say for a record that 2 years ago, when I said Green Arrow was Batman, I was right.
God damn, yeah, that's gonna be okay. Yeah, that's like, I'll admit that I don't know a lot about Green Arrow, but I know a hell of a lot about Batman. Like, I'm more of a Batman fan, and that just kind of it seems awkward.
You're in luck, sir. If you're a Batman fan and you know nothing about Green Arrow, this is the show for you, because it's Batman, the live action series, almost to the letter. They're all there: Suicide Squad, the Royal Flush Gang, Deathstroke, Deadshot, the League of Assassins. They're just, it's straight Batman at this point.
Okay, then I'll definitely have to watch Arrow.
Yeah. I mean, no disrespect to the showrunners. It's still a great show, and I'm giving them a hard time because I love Green Arrow, and I would have liked to see Ollie with the ridiculous goatee and the ridiculous feather in his hat and being a wise ass and all this kind of nonsense.
The over-the-top arrows with the punching bar, the boxing gloves on the end.
Yeah, well, I won't spoil anything, but if you're a fan of the punching glove arrow, when you get to the part in the series where Wildcat is introduced, who the trainer of Black Canary, keep an eye out for an Easter egg there. It's not subtle, you know it when you see it, but it's very entertaining.
Nice. Okay, so all right, this next question's gonna be nice of a fun one, a little bit of a thinker. So you find a key that works on any lock, both physical or electronic. However, it will only work once. So when and where do you end up using it?
Wow. I guess it really depends on my motivation at the time. I guess the obvious answer would be like to, take out Fort Knox and just ransack a huge gold mine or something. But I think if I could use it on anything electronic, just for my own curiosity, I'd probably unlock something at NASA that has to do with really just more information about other planets. I kind of want to know what NASA knows and if there's anything they're keeping from us in terms of planets that are potentially habitable for humans or what found in terms of potential extraterrestrial life, whether it's intelligent or not, or just plants growing on a distant planet. I'd kind of want to know, so I'd probably use the key on wherever it is they keep their deepest, darkest secrets they don't want the public to find out about just yet.
All right, cool. And I got a question here from the chat, actually, from the Twitch chat, from AVGGMR. I'm sorry, dude, I don't know how to... Or person, I'm sorry, I don't know how to pronounce the name without any...
it's Average Gamer. I know.
Oh, okay. Oh, wow. Yeah, I feel dumb now that I see that. Yeah, so Average Gamer is asking, what are your thoughts on the Suicide Squad cast?
For the movie, I'm assuming, not the Arrow TV show.
I assume so.
Okay. Well, I don't know yet. To be honest with you, I don't know the woman they've cast as Harley Quinn. Her name is Margot Robbie, I believe is how you pronounce it. I've never seen her in anything. She looks the part. She's young, she's thin, she's pretty. She looks like Harley Quinn. I don't know if she can act like Harley Quinn. I think Jared Leto will surprise a lot of people as the Joker. I think he's an excellent cast. It's Heath Ledger is almost impossible to replace as the Joker. But if anybody's going to do it, I think Jared Leto can certainly put his own unique spin on it.
Oh yeah.
Somebody asked which version of Harley Quinn they're using. I don't know. I assume it's kind of the Batman the Animated Series version. I haven't really kept up with New 52. I kind of gave up on it. So I assume it's kind of the animated series Harley Quinn. I know she's going to have had a relationship with the Joker at some point. The movie kind of takes place in the Batman vs Superman world, where Batman's already kind of seasoned, they call it. So it's years after his Rogues Gallery's been introduced. Will Smith as Deadshot is a curious choice. I kind of have a hard time taking Will Smith seriously in anything. So I don't know that he can kind of be... Oh, no, he's Deadshot. Will Smith is Deadshot. I don't know if he could be a good Deadshot, but I'm willing to give him a chance. I'm waiting to see who they cast as Deathstroke, because that's kind of the make it or break it for me. Deathstroke is my favorite character. And I think Jake Courtney White is in it as well. I'm not even sure what character he's playing. Maybe he's Bronze Tiger in the Arrowverse. I don't even know. I'm actually not 100% on who the cast is for Suicide Squad outside of Joker, Harley, and Deadshot.
Yeah, I'll admit I have not been paying 100% attention. I almost forgot that the whole movie itself was actually in the works and actually in process.
Yeah.
But
I will say it's one of my most anticipated films. I think it's going to surprise a lot of people and be really a lot of fun. My question is because I assume it's Warner Brothers because it's DC and everything's Warner Brothers. My question is, are they going to have the balls to call it the Suicide Squad, or are they kind of going to take the coward's way out and call it Task Force X? Because Suicide Squad, I mean, if you don't know the comics, that's kind of a volatile title. And I don't know how the general public will react to that. And I understand if they have to change it, but I mean, like in Lego Batman, they're just called the Squad, and I get that. But they, I'd like to see them called Suicide Squad.
Yeah.
Because that it's important to who they are as a team.
Yeah, definitely. Okay. Let's see here. Oh yeah, nice, easy, wonderful question that goes on most interviews anyway. In a few years, where do you see yourself?
Well, if all goes according to plan, I'd like to be with IGN for a while. I've spent the past year and a half kind of building the company up into a relatively successful magazine, a relatively successful, small site. We're not like a big site or anything by any means. I don't have any delusions of grandeur, but we've got some really exciting stuff lined up over the next 2 months that are kind of really going to shake things up for IGM. And if all goes well, I've kind of set up a scenario where I can kind of settle into this and make a real career out of it. So I'm hoping to do that.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Somebody in chat is asking about my thoughts on One More Day, this Spider-Man story. When One More Day was happening, I wasn't opposed to. I didn't hate it like everybody else hated it. I was disappointed that they were kind of annulling the relationship between Spider-Man and Mary Jane, and they've made some retcon changes since then about like the extent of what the deal was and what kind of power Strange had and what really went on. I like the idea that no matter how much Peter could love someone, that Aunt May is kind of always going to take priority. And so despite her having lived a full life and kind of them saying all they need to say between each other, he still prioritizes her life over, his soulmate, Mary Jane.
Yeah.
So I enjoyed the story. I'm not caught up with Spider-Verse, so I don't know what's gone on post Superior Spider-Man. The last thing I just finished Superior Spider-Man, and that's it. So I don't know what they're doing now. But as far as One More Day, I didn't have too much of a problem with it. I know it kind of changed a lot of things that I was unhappy with in terms of... I'll tell you, the one thing I hated more than One More Day was Civil War. And not even for the general story, but I hated what they did to Spider-Man. I think that having Tony Stark take advantage of him and him unmasking for the world it was not smart. I think there was a better way to tell that story, and I think that, I mean, they kind of dug themselves into a hole where One More Day was kind of the only logical scenario to kind of retcon the whole thing without actually just retconning all of Civil War.
Yeah.
Just because of one thing that happened to Spider-Man.
Okay, yeah. Okay, so Robin Walker, who is the guy that's behind, one of the masterminds behind TF2, is giving away working versions of the weapons from this game. Which one are you going to grab, and why?
I'd have to say the rocket launcher. I'm kind of a fan of the classics. There's just something fun about having a rocket launcher. There's kind of the wanton destruction it provides of just being able to stand on top of a giant, on top of a fort or in like a high rise and just firing rockets down on your opponents. Although, I mean, I guess in terms of practicality, the medic's gun would kind of, I think, be the choice. It seems to take care of most of life's ailments, which would be a pretty good thing to have.
And actually, I think everyone so far is in some fashion, like, yeah, actually, you know what? I know for a fact, everyone so far that has been on the show, in some fashion has been like, yeah, I'll take the, in reality, I'd probably take the medic gun.
I mean, it just seems like, I don't know about your life, but my life isn't overly exciting with explosions and gunshots everywhere. I'm not too mortally wounded on a regular basis, but I bump into things. I get sore exercising. Like I have just enough pain in my life that I kind of appreciate the medic guns assistance.
Oh yeah, I mean, like, you gotta respect a gun that can just straight up heal, like, everything.
Yeah.
And actually, Django, I think when Spencer Hayes was on here, that was his exact plan with the Metagun, is he wanted to open up a doctor's office where he would heal people for money.
Yeah, I mean, that's a brilliant idea, actually.
Oh, of course. Okay. So I've never met a person who didn't like some kind of music. So what wets your whistle?
Oh boy, nobody likes my answer to this question. I grew up with music, just kind of whatever was on, and whatever was on in my house, thanks to my parents, was U2 and Creed and Journey. Those were kind of the three groups that were always on. So I grew up on a lot of Creed and a lot of U2. But it's despite that, I really didn't have too much of. I wasn't a fan of it. Oh, forgot the V button. I grew up with Creed, U2, and Journey, but I wasn't actually a fan. So I don't even know how, but I learned to love country music, and I don't know where this comes from because nobody in my family listens to country. We didn't have like the country music television station when I was growing up, so I don't know how I found a love for country, but I did. It must have been in a movie one time, and I found out who did the song, and then I started getting into albums. But I listened to like country, like Rascal Flatts and Brad Paisley, Toby Keith, that kind of stuff. Okay. Nowadays, I don't really listen to too much music, honestly. I'll turn on the radio if I'm in the car, but it's kind of like pop stuff that I do not love. I'm really the only time I sit down and listen to a soundtrack, it's a video game soundtrack now, and it's either stuff in the indie community that I get sent for review, or just old favorites. I have a video game music playlist on my phone, which is all Grandia 2, of course. Nice. Sonic has some of the best music in the business. So anything from Sonic Adventure to the old school Sega Genesis era. A lot of Mass Effect songs were really great, so I have the Mass Effect soundtrack as well. Stuff like that.
Really nice. And actually, I'll fully admit I have the copy of the album from the band that worked with Sega, Crush 40. So I have it has all of the racing songs they did, the Sonic Adventure songs they did, and even some of the stuff that they did with I want to say one or two of the ones from Shadow the Hedgehog around there, and I mean, we don't talk
Right.
about that game, but at least it had a somewhat decent soundtrack. If you're into
Listen.
heavier
I
things.
played. I played Shadow the Hedgehog. Not only did I play it, but I'm a completionist, so if I play something, I play it 100%. I got all of the endings for Shadow. I went the distance. I did as much as you could do for Shadow the Hedgehog. I'm not saying I regret it. I'm just saying I probably could have done other things in my childhood that would have benefited me more than playing Shadow the Hedgehog. But it is what it is.
Okay, yeah.
But Crush 40, yeah. I don't know a whole lot of band names, and I didn't know a whole lot of band names growing up. But I knew Crush 40 just because of Sonic. They did some great stuff. I will say, I don't know if this was them, but whoever wrote the Sonic and the Black Knight song, Night of the Wind happens to be one of my favorites. And I don't know if you played any of the Sonic storybook series on Wii, but they did Sonic and the Black Knight. They did Sonic and there was one other one too, but the song Night of the Wind, it's Sonic's theme song from that game, and it's awesome.
Yeah.
So I'm a fan of it.
Okay, yeah, like I never got a chance to play those. Like I'll fully admit I had lost interest in Sonic for a while there.
Nobody blames
Yeah.
you.
Let's see, there was a chat question here. Oh yeah, okay, yeah. What do you think of La Mulana as well as them making a sequel for it?
I gotta tell you, I'm kind of genuinely surprised that La Mulana is getting a sequel. I don't mean to say that in a bad way. It didn't seem to me like it was a game that would ever get a sequel. So I'm certainly happy. I will definitely check it out for sure. We'll definitely cover it as more information about it kind of comes out. But I didn't really experiment with the first La Mulana too much. I only know about it because I know people who really loved it. So I don't have too much hands-on experience. So I guess the only thing I could really say about it is I'm surprised, but in a good way, that there's a sequel happening.
Nice. And speaking of whistles, have you heard of the train god today?
I have not.
Well, I'm gonna go ahead and change the map, and we're gonna go visit the train god. And it is he who choose, and he is a glorious, wonderful, not at all merciless or completely merciless ruler of trains.
All right, sounds exciting.
Yeah, so I'm gonna get these all in there. But yeah, as soon as you see the map, you'll realize why a lot of us absolutely love it, and it's probably the most played map on the server.
All right, cool.
And actually, thankfully I thought ahead of time, and the bots are noted. But yeah, we're probably gonna. There's a special event that happens on the map every time that there's 100 kills. There's what they call a sacrifice event. And considering the bots are noted on this map, and they are stupid as all get out, we are going to run into that very quickly.
Okay.
So yeah, it doesn't matter what team you join. Who cares? As soon as you're gonna have to, of course, obviously download the map and all that fun stuff.
Yeah, it's down right now. It's almost done.
Oh, awesome.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's a beautiful, wonderful map. Have you ever played? I know it's probably a really dumb question, but have you played TF2 around the Halloween events at all, or no?
I have. This is actually my only experience with TF2. I first played it when the Orange Box came out on Xbox 360, and I bought it. And actually, there's another story, but I won't tangent. I bought it to play Team Fortress 2, and so I turned it on for the first time, and it just happened to be. And then I kept playing it for a while, and then I played a Halloween event, and then I was kind of like, yeah, this is probably like the peak of my interest in Team Fortress 2. It's not going to get any better. Okay. So I kind of moved on.
All right, yeah, because there was for a while there they added in spell books after one of the more recent events, and those spells actually make appearances on this map. So if you have the spell book item, feel free to equip it.
That's pretty cool.
Yeah, like I interviewed the map maker. His name's Crash. Really, really cool guy. really talented map maker. Like, he comes up with these absolutely just batshit crazy ideas, and he tries to make them happen. There's another map of his where it's everyone's fighting over the points, a King of the Hill map, and then at various points in time throughout the course of the match, a UFO will show up and abduct people. And they
Nice.
get transported to a whole separate section of the map, and it's really nice. It's really, really inventive.
I gotta say, one of my favorite things about kind of this generation of consoles, and I mean, it's always been around for PC, is kind of the renewed interest in player-created content. Because I think people make some really amazing stuff. My primary experience is with Little Big Planet. People make some really amazing Little Big Planet levels. But I'm kind of interested in that the Xbox One Project Spark, if you've heard of it. It's just kind of their level designer and kind of game maker. They just announced they're doing something for Conker's Bad Fur Day. He's getting an actual game within Project Spark. It's an episodic release, but it's made by an actual, a dev team, and the original creator and the voice of Conker is coming back for it.
Oh wow, I didn't realize that.
And I think that's like really one of the best ways to sell something like Project Spark, for me anyway, is to kind of get developers to actually make full games within, just to kind of show off the potential of the technology. So
yeah, definitely.
That's really cool to look out for.
Yeah, like I remember when that first announcement came out for Project Spark during, I think it was E3 actually. And then Conker shows up out of the blue, and they're like, "Hey guys, if you want a Conker game, go make it yourself."
Right.
That was kind of like the implication, and a lot of people took that really negatively.
Right. I mean, I'm all for like sharing assets and stuff, but the way they went about it, it seemed like they were going to introduce, a new game, and then they kind of just 180 and were like, nope, you got to do it yourself.
Yep.
But now there's an actual game for it. So it's going to be cool if they can do. I mean, I don't know what kind of deals they make. They're always talking about they have some secret deal with Rare going on, whether it be a new Battletoads game or a new Banjo-Kazooie or something like that. I'd kind of like to see them make something in Project Spark if it's really that applicable, if it's really that easy to make games.
Oh yeah.
Why not?
Oh yeah, definitely. Oh, you're not. Are you in yet or no?
No, I don't know. I stalled on my download. I'm almost there, but
Okay.
haven't moved now.
Yeah, we managed to hit a sacrifice event with all the bots and everything. So right now, Lucy in the Sky with lasers is roaming around the map and murdering everyone.
Awesome.
So once you get in, you'll get to see definitely what's going down. And that's not what I wanted to do. Crap. But yeah, I mean, like seeing the Train God, seeing Train Saw Laser honestly was the last question. So at this point, it's really just kind of hanging out, kind of shooting the shit a little bit.
Cool.
But yeah, like I mean. Yeah, like you're saying about Project Spark, it shows like, God, what was it that they had before? Project Kudo or whatever that they had initially that was supposed to be basically Project Spark, like for the 360.
Yeah, I don't remember the name, but I know what you're talking about. I mean, they've been trying for a long time, and I like the idea of it, and I'm glad that kind of Spark is seems to be the full package. It seems like you can do a heck of a lot with it, so I'm excited for it. I don't actually have an Xbox One. I have a PS4 and a Wii U, because Wii U is always the companion console.
Oh, of course.
But I've been waiting for that one reason to pull me into getting an Xbox One. Sunset Overdrive came close because I really like Insomniac games.
Oh yeah.
But you know what'll do it, and this is dumb, but I really loved Alan Wake. If they make a new Alan Wake, I know they're talking about maybe remastering it for Xbox One, but if they just out and out made a sequel, and not like an Xbox Arcade sequel, I know that's a thing and it's okay, but I want like a full next gen Alan Wake, and fine, then I'll buy an Xbox One right then and there.
Okay.
But I don't like. I don't know. I'm not really a big shooter fan. I don't play a lot of shooters. I'm an RPG, an action RPG kind of fan. So the stuff like Battlefield, Call of Duty, Halo, a lot of them are good games. Advanced Warfare is really cool. They really shook up this series, and that's great. But I just I don't care about shooters, so I need something else to kind of grab my attention.
Okay, yeah, and I mean that's completely fine. Like I'll fully admit myself, even though I was really, really huge into shooters for a good long time, and I guess still technically am because I played a fair amount of TF2 and Payday 2. Like when it came to Call of Duty, I think it was about Black Ops 1 or 2 maybe. It was 1. It was Black Ops 1 that I was like already kind of bored by it, but I got it because my friends we were all still playing and all that fun stuff. And then I think I finally dropped off at Modern Warfare 3 is the last one I owned, and the only reason I got that is because it came with the console when my Xbox died. So I was
right.
that's the only reason I own it. And I mean, I played the free weekends of Black Ops and Black Ops 2, and I'm not sure if I have touched Advanced Warfare, so like it's fun, but I do like the changes in how they made it more like the old school arena shooters. Like that's awesome.
Yeah.
But I don't know, it's not enough for me to want to throw down $60 to get back into it.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, a lot of shooters, they obviously prioritize the multiplayer, and, that's fine. They should, because everybody loves the multiplayer. But I'm more of a single-player kind of gamer.
Mm-hmm.
If I play something online, I kind of prefer to do it with actual people that I know, just, like friends. So I kind of gravitate more towards the single-player experiences, and those aren't always that great for shooters.
Mm-hmm.
The story's not always that great. They're pretty short sometimes, and
Yeah.
I don't know, when it gets to be just like a corridor shooter, just A to B, duck and cover and shoot, I need something more than that to kind of I don't know, engage me.
Yeah, definitely. Like I was actually kind of interested in when they initially announced it, the story mode for Battlefield Hardline, where it's like more of the cop story, and my train's got stuck somehow. But yeah, like how they're like, oh, it's gonna be like a cop drama show kind of thing, and you get more of the like more along those lines. You're gonna get more of an actual story to it. I was really interested in actually seeing that aspect of it. I played the beta for the Hardline, I played all that fun stuff, and I just didn't care about it. Like it just did not really stick with me at all.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't know if anybody else notices this, or maybe it's just me, but the Battlefield Hardline trailer's been on TV a lot. And,
Yeah.
I don't know if it's just me, maybe I just haven't seen it enough times, but the first time I saw it, it felt like the resolution was not great for the commercial. I know the game itself was great, because I demoed it, but I don't know, the commercial was like low res or something. It was a little bit choppy.
Yeah, like, I guess I never really paid too much attention to it, but it just, like, I thought something always seemed a little off with it. I wasn't really sure what, but it was just like, I just attributed it to, it's like, oh, well, it's probably just, the network that's running it doesn't really care too much about it, or one of those deals. So.
Yeah. I think my download is just like stalled completely. It hasn't moved in a while.
What's it say? Is it like still downloading, or is it?
Yeah, it says it's downloaded, but it's been on the same file.
Which
For a
file?
while. I don't know. It's map/cough_train saw laser.
Okay. Oh, okay. Yeah, you can go ahead and try to see if you can rejoin, see what happens that way. Like you can hit the cancel button and then try again that way. I'm not 100% sure if that's gonna... Oh, now it says you... Okay, yeah, so it says you joined the game now. Before it didn't say that.
Yep, okay, yeah, I don't know, something must have...
Okay, yeah, so it glitched out then. It can be weird. Oh, wonderful! You're gonna, if it works, you'll get to see the third sacrifice event we're gonna have in here. So, people who are watching the stream have been watching this just absolute craziness go down with trains raining from the sky. There was the giant train that fell from the sky. Oh.
My minions, slide
Oh god, he's okay. So Train God decided to send all of his minions. So we have Lucy in the sky with lasers. We have
I do not eat someone soon,
Kilgore the train
die,
shark.
it's going to be your fault.
Was it Kilgore the train shark, or was it God, I forget the name of these.
What is up, everybody?
Isn't Kilgore a Killer Instinct character?
Yeah,
Or
that
maybe I
too.
made that up.
Yeah, and he's a Killer Instinct character too.
Okay.
The one in here is a train that fires bombs out of his butt, has a laser on him, and tries to eat people.
What more can you want?
Exactly.
Let sick men send babies to fight me.
Yeah, like I know a lot of the people are, at least a lot of the regulars on the server have always said, you know, hey, it'd be nice if Valve were to make this like, you know, a full-fledged map. But of course, it'd be seriously impossible with the amount of craziness that happens.
Yeah, it seems like a lot of chaos.
Oh yeah.
Control.
Hey, why are you running away from me?
Alright, there we go.
Alright, so you're now in.
From my face?
Yeah.
That's
Awesome. Yeah, so welcome to Transall Laser.
Wow. This is nuts.
Oh, of course, it's a wonderful experience.
I hope my chat was still working while we were talking while I was waiting for this to download.
Oh,
I'm not
shit,
sure,
I
I'm
need
not sure if it
to.
did.
There we go. Alright, now I'm muted these here. Now it's a lot better off, but yeah. So,
Okay.
as you can see, there's trains raining from the sky. There's a giant counter. There's.
Later, Django.
Oh, yeah, he was just saying he's gonna catch up on the chat that we had while we were downloading.
Oh, okay. Yeah, it was nothing too groundbreaking, but
No.
it is what it is. Yeah, I will say I'll probably have to go in like 10 minutes at 2 o'clock.
Oh yeah, that's fine.
Just because. Gotta get back to the old editing.
Oh yeah. Yeah, I just wanted to let you check out the map, take a look at it, and experience the craziness that is Transall Laser.
Yeah, this is pretty amazing. This was just one guy set this all up.
Yep.
That's really amazing.
Yeah, one guy did, but he's done quite a few maps. His full username is UE. Oh yeah, UE Crash. He's done all sorts of maps. He actually helped out with the major update they did. Or not major update, but the what was it? That video that came out recently with End of the Line. They also made a map, and he helped out with like testing and proofing. And unfortunately, the map was supposed to be a Valve map, but Valve didn't approve it because they found it was too confusing for players, and there was a bunch of reasonings and technical issues that they had with it. So it lives on as a community map now. But yeah, so Crash helped out with that. He's done quite a few different, like, actual more serious maps. All sorts of stuff. He's really, really, really talented.
That's awesome.
I mean, he made this. This is just crazy. And I mean, he did a fair amount of the voice acting. He also has some of his friends, like all of the voices you hear, all of the extra. That's all. They all recorded that.
Man, that's a lot of effort. That's really awesome.
Oh yeah, like it's awesome. I really do hope that one day the Valve's like, hey, yeah, we want you to make maps.
Oh, I will say I should probably talk a little bit about the magazine.
Oh yeah, go for it.
Do that
Feel
kind
free.
of promo stuff. But so Indie Game Magazine comes out on the first of every month. We have a website for daily news and all that good stuff. But the actual magazine you can subscribe to. If you go to our homepage, it's just indiegamemag.com. You'll see a link for it. You'll also see we do a 16-page preview each month, so you can just preview the magazine before you decide if you want to actually pay for it or not. But it's not expensive. It's $2.99 for the single issue, or $30 to subscribe for 12 issues for the year. We do every month, not bi-monthly. We do a full 12 issues. Minimum is usually about 60 pages. We're going to be bumping up the page count to somewhere around 100 soon.
That's awesome.
Yeah, it's a lot of work, but it's also a lot of fun. So obviously it's about indie games, but the indie game kind of scene is growing a lot.
Mm-hmm.
And kind of indie doesn't mean the same thing it used to mean. It's not all like pixel art games and stuff. There's a lot of amazing games coming out. Not that pixel art isn't amazing, but people tend to look at the aesthetic and think like, oh, it's just like a Nintendo game. But games are really great. What's my favorite indie game? You know what? I've never been asked that question before. In the year and a half I've been the Achievement Game Magazine. My favorite indie game right now, the one I play the most anyway, has to be Assault Android Cactus. It's a game by Witchbeam, who's the developer. It's a bullet hell shooter. There's a ton of androids you can choose between. They each all have a different weapon and secondary ability. I kind of, ironic or not, I don't have a heck of a lot of time to play games. I added a lot of what's written. I do all the cover stories for the magazine, so I'll play those games when those are available. But I really don't have time to play games. So when I do play a game, it has to be something that I can play for 15, 20 minutes, and then kind of break away from and get back to work. And so Cactus is kind of the perfect game because I could play, and it really gets my adrenaline pumping. It's a lot of fun, and but then 10 minutes later I can back out and just get back to work. So I kind of need those kind of quick game sessions.
Mm-hmm.
But there's a lot of games that are amazing. I'm really interested in what Chinese Room is doing, the Amnesia folks, and how they're doing Everybody's Gone to the Rapture. Looks really amazing. I'm really super excited about the new Mike Bethel game volume, the kind of the modern Robin Hood retelling.
Mm-hmm.
There's a lot of stuff coming out that looks really exciting that I can't wait to play.
Nice. Yeah, the scene is just insanely huge now. It's actually a really cool thing. I really do enjoy seeing all these games coming out.
Yeah, it surprises me. It's amazing. Indie games are kind of... anybody can make an indie game these days, and I don't mean to say that it's easy. I just mean to say that there's a lot of tools available. That if you want to make an indie game, there's nothing stopping you at this point. You can certainly learn the tools of the trade, and there's a lot of great resources out there, most times for free. And so, I really love how it's kind of become a worldwide thing. We get emails from people in every corner of the world. Places I've never heard of are making indie games, and they'll ask us to try out their game, ask us what we think, and all that good stuff. And it's just awesome. Literally every corner of the world is making games. And actually, the global game jam that happens every year, we sponsored the last one. I think it's so amazing to see all of these games and all of these developers and everybody kind of working together from every corner of the globe to make something that's unique and not always innovative per se, but they're all unique. They're all personal stories, which I think makes for better games overall when developers kind of make a more personal game. Whether it's narrative driven or not, the end result is something better, I think.
Nice.
Come here.
Oh, and on a side note, it'd be a perfect way to end this with all the characters on the map around in full force right now. Once again.
Gotta go purple. Oh. I love the songs.
Oh, yes.
Amazing.
Like, it's insane the level of work that went in. Oh, God. The level of work that went into this is just awesome.
Yeah, for sure.
Oh, yeah, an average gamer was just pointing out that they added first-person mode to Assault Android characters.
Yeah, that's pretty wild. That's too much chaos for me. I kind of need the top-down perspective to be any good at it. First person has a way of making things really, I don't know, terrifying, I guess. Like, I don't know if you've ever played like a mod for first-person Pac-Man, but Pac-Man is really scary when it's first-person.
Oh, God, yeah. However, Nuclear Throne, I think it was, or whatever that game was, they added a first-person mode, and that was just insanely, like, it went from being already a punishing game to just insanely hard.
Yeah, so first person is definitely a big game changer. I'll try it out, but I'm not going to be any good at it, I'll tell you right now, for Cactus. As far as social media stuff, if you guys want to follow IGM, we're at Indie Game Mag on Twitter. You can it's Indie Game Mag on Facebook and Google+, all that good stuff. We post all our stories there, so you can get your social media fix on any of these three. I'm at Vincent_Parisi. You can find me. You can just find any of the articles that I do on the site. I do Screenshot Weekly every week, so you can just pull one of those up and get all my contact info from there. But I really appreciate you letting me come on here. This has been a lot of fun.
Oh yeah, no problem.
I love the Destructoid community, so I'm really glad I got this opportunity.
Oh yeah, and actually, I wasn't sure if we were going to be able to top the ending being something even crazier, but we have a giant train coming. So I mean, that's I gotta say that's the perfect way to end this.
Yeah, for sure.
So I'm just gonna conga while the train comes. So yeah, so thanks for coming on. It's been a hell of a lot of fun.
Oh yeah, thank you so much for having me.
And for those who are watching, this has been another episode of Between Two Fort.